Hey guys, it's Devin from Project Devo. This week we are going to be going over our F1 preview. Before we get into the F1 preview, just a couple of quick things here. We are getting back into, like I said, the viewers' rides. I did have some stuff getting edited. Was working on some stuff getting edited. I am going to shoot some more content for some of those videos because I just don't quite like the way they want to do it, and I want them to do these guys justice when I do post their vehicles on here. Second thing, probably what big step. The first episode ever of the Project Devo vlog will be coming out next Wednesday or Thursday. Keep your eyes out for it. I'm hoping we're gonna do it Wednesday. Or Thursday. I'm really shooting for probably Thursday though, just to have a little bit more time to mess around with it, edited it a little bit. The first one's going to be kind of short. It's going to be kind of bland, because I'm just getting feelers out there to figure out how this is going to work. But that's what we're going for. Is trying to get into some vlogging here. Now let's get on with this F1 preview here. So people know, last week or 2 weeks ago, we had some Bahrain testing. Some highlights from Bahrain testing is one of the biggest things is you have two new teams. I mean, relatively two new teams. You have Audi making their debut as well as Cadillac making their debut, all with different stuff. You have Red Bull running the new power plant from Ford. You also have a couple other teams using new power plants. Honda's back in the game, with Aston Martin. We also have some crazy new aerodynamic schemes now that the rules package have changed and they got rid of DRS. You have this new wing that everyone's talking about, which we'll get into. We also have Ferrari showing up with a new power plant. Now, for that Ferrari power plant is extremely strong. And if you hear my opinion, I think we're going to see Sir Lewis Hamilton back on the winner's circle or the top of the podium once again this season for the first time in a long time. I say that because he looks fairly. That testing, that Ferrari team's both cars look fairly solid. I mean, this new power plant even has the Haas cars looking to have some speed in them, and that's saying something. Haas has been a little bit on the back burner, been a mid pack team, but I'm feeling it this year. I think that this new Ferrari power plant is going to help out not just Ferrari but all their little subsidiaries as well. Also want to talk about Charles. I think Charles is going to have a great year again. I think that Max is going to be very, very, very hard pressed to stay in the top three, especially if Hamilton can take this new Ferrari setup and run with it. Getting into some of the real spicy stuff here. Ferrari power plant again. Launch on these Ferraris looks absolutely just incredible. I'm going to be posting some highlight stuff out throughout here, especially when we get into talking about this new wing setup, which I really want to get into with Ferrari here. They made a active aero rear spoiler. I'm going to post it up here on this video real quick. As you can see, as it's going down the straightaway, the wing actually flips. And when asked about it, the wing actually creates instead of downforce, it does the opposite. It lifts the rear end of the car, allowing the car to cut drag on the car to accelerate faster down the straightaways. And then some people were noticing that there was a secondary spoiler halfway down behind the exhaust. That secondary spoiler is actually to deter the lift or compensate for the lift that this spoiler makes when it flips over, so that the back end of the car doesn't come all the way off the ground, so they don't lose traction. So it just balances out with just enough downforce. So this is extremely great engineering here, and we'll see how long they get away with this, because that's going to be interesting. Coming into the season, they're already looking like they're going to be voting on some different active aero rules coming up with the FIA, and I have a feeling that this new spoiler is going to be a huge talk about it. And we may not even see it because I just remember like Toto just saying Toto Wolff looks like he's all over top of this thing. Because he's kind of PO'd that a couple years ago they had that whole push and pull thing going on with the Mercedes, but I do think Mercedes is going to have a resurgence this year. I think they're going to be the number 2 team. I think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, and I think Red Bull is going to struggle this year a bit, just because they're going over to these new Ford power plants. They're untested, they're unproven. They may be running. I see them running into some issues here and there. I could be wrong. But there's some new stuff coming out, and new rule packages is going to be interesting. As for everything else going on in F1, there's some new stuff. I know I have not been to an F1 race yet. The craziest thing I think they did is they've had probably one of the best spectator years ever last year. And this year is going to be really interesting to see what their numbers look like, because now they're behind a paywall. That's right. You actually have to pay to watch F1 this year. You have to get Apple TV and pay for the subscription to Apple TV to even watch it. And this is one of those things that could hurt them realistically. I'm not sure how long the contract is. I got to look into it a little bit, but putting yourself behind a paywall cuts out a lot of your viewership, because some people just don't want to pay the extra subscription just to watch a race weekend. And I understand what they're going for. They're going for that marketing package. They're going for all this extra benefits and whatnot. But, I mean, realistically, that's not what they're looking for. Like, they brought F1 into the common household, and it wasn't a bouge sport, we'll say. For once. And, I mean, yes, there's still billions and billions of dollars in F1. And it is more of a racing form for the rich. That's just it's the way it's marketed too. It's marketed that way. It's marketed as like racing royalty, we'll say. But they brought it to the masses. They brought it to the common person. And now you're kind of taking that back and hiding that from them. And I feel like this may be a bad move for F1. They may lose some followers. I feel like next year they may look over it and realize that it was probably a bad idea. They may move to some type of like off subscription thing on their F1 page that's a lot cheaper than Apple or something along those lines. Like, I don't even know if they're still going to have coverage on ESPN anymore, from what I'm seeing. So it should be a very, very interesting season. I'm going to say that. I do think, like I said, Ferrari's going to be your number 1 team to watch. I think McLaren's going to be up there, but I think it's going to be the 2 teams to watch this year are definitely Ferrari and the Mercedes team. And I do think that McLaren's going to sit up there ahead of Red Bull, and those are going to be the top 3 teams. And then, the Red Bull's going to struggle. And then what's also interesting, too, is Max has made statements in the past where Max Verstappen has said that if he can't compete anymore, if he can't love the sport anymore, if he doesn't feel like he's having fun or feel like he's being challenged anymore, that he will look at going elsewhere. Could this be the fall of Red Bull? Could this be the backtrack of Red Bull? Could that mean that Max will step out of the car when his contract's up and go to somewhere else? Could we see Max in the next couple of years going over to another racing discipline? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe touring. Like, I know he's raced touring car before. Maybe could we see him getting into like rally or some other type of track sport, motorsport? Just very, very curious to see how this year plays out. This could be a pivotal year with, like I said, all the rule changes, the new teams. And let's get into the new teams a little bit here. So we got Audi coming in first. I mean, yes, there's just a rebrand on that team. I also want to get into this new Andretti team, which is Cadillac. Uh, I see this team struggling from the beginning. Like I said, it's a brand new year, brand new team. They're gonna struggle. But I also want to get into a little bit with the other American team. It's not really an American team. It's not even housed in America. Um, Haas now getting that full GR Gazoo Racing Toyota branding on them with some Toyota tech and Toyota insights back in F1. Here's the next question: is this going to be a good practice year for Toyota? Are they going to be R&Ding a new engine maybe during testing, mid-season testing maybe? Are we going to see a Toyota coming into as a new engine manufacturer in the next couple of years, coming back to the fight? And hey, I mean, if we really want to get pushy, I would love to see Roger Penske take another shot at F1 and get back into that Andretti and Penske slugfest back in F1. I think that would be awesome. I want to hear from you guys. Who do you think the top F1 team is going to be this year? And who do you think Sir Hamilton will get his first win in a long time here? You think he's going to break that snoozer he's on? All right, guys, we will see you next week. And like I said, check out midweek. Get ready to look for that blog and or that vlog, we should say, and let's see if we can get this thing rolling.